Chris Cody, I really need you to be a strong leader today because I've got two things happening that feel cruddy, okay? And I need you to lead us here on this. One is I've got Lewis roaming around here saying how badly he needs this Chiefs money on Sunday, okay? I've got on the television, I can't believe what I'm seeing on the television. It says Chiefs must-win game, and I'm like, it is this week? The Chiefs have a must-win game, but for Lewis, it's a must-win game.
For all of us, it's a must-win game, Dano.
I mean, but Lewis has like 17 kids.
Yes. Lewis is the only one in the office muttering, "I really need that money," while walking past me as if he doesn't think I can hear him. Like I can feel that off him at all times, but it usually doesn't come out of his mouth. So the Chiefs game is a big game. But the other problem I have is, and I've been in negotiations with Udonis Haslem, and he's expensive, and Mike's not helping. He's not helping things because I need someone to oversee the punishments in this league, and I don't know what Mike was doing today, but he's just wearing a Raiders sweatshirt and saying he's Pete Carroll, and that no one has honored the punishments more than Mike Ryan has.
Okay. I have honored every single punishment, no matter how difficult, and today is probably the most challenging thing I've ever had to do since freedom.
Get the hell out of here.
I have to chew gum during the show.
I mean, the show just started. Shouldn't you be?
Do you know how much gum I usually chew during the show? Zero. There might be times during today's show where I have one, maybe two pieces of gum in my mouth while I'm talking.
A lot of squatting too.
That is a choking hazard. It also represents a 200% increase in chewing gum that's in my mouth during these shows.
Well, no, it's more than 200%. You went from 0 to whatever it is. That's an infinite percent.
700%.
You're the president of the United States now, playing with percentages.
Hey, Dan, are you excited for 50-year mortgages? That's how we're going to solve all this. A 50-year mortgage.
I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, I just did.
It's as good as an idea as Zaz's let's rest players in the first half and make them play the second half.
I'm dying on that hill.
You just sound like
Quite literally.
You just sounded like you were dying on a Civil War hill.
Bayonet in your chest.
What happened to you? Was that
I don't know.
No, but you and Ethan, look, the amount of cream cheese that you're costing Meadowlark is why I can't pay Udonis Haslem to govern this punishment list.
Couple of Lucky Jays.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-ball. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Tony's taunting me during the break, saying Udonis Haslem has become Diana Rossini's grandpa Santa on the phone, that it's an empty threat that doesn't mean anything to anyone around here on the punishments. And Mike Ryan is actively, and this is disrespectful, and it's an act of resentment, honestly, that shouldn't express itself this way. I think he's Pete Carroll today. This doesn't feel like a real punishment, but the only one who gets punished is me, is because every time I'm talking, Mike is whispering into his headset, 57's the mic. 57th the mic, while covering his mouth with his play sheet, and he's trying to distract me from doing the show while also doing Pete Carroll, not like Daniel Day-Lewis as Pete Carroll. He's not leaving character.
Let's settle down. Take the air out of the ball. HB dive. Big gap.
That's what he's been doing every time I'm talking.
Blitz and a safety. Run duo.
He's doing it when I'm trying to give points and while I'm talking and trying to organize the show. So the team is actively playing defense against me today on a legitimately good content day, because 24 hours later, how silly does this show sound? Laughing at the Warriors and celebrating the Miami Heat. 24 hours later, I don't know that I've heard someone do what Norman Powell did yesterday, where he's like, just put my name on the quote, that's a bad loss, where that's something fans say. I rarely hear players say of losing to other professional players,
I
man,
loved it.
That's a bad loss.
I love it. And he didn't even leave it at that. He said it's a bad loss. That's a really bad loss.
How often do you hear, he's right, you're losing to...
Loved it.
What did you love?
I loved that he came out and said that. Yeah. Why are we... it's a professional team, you know, they got guys who know... No. That's a really bad loss last night. Good for you, Norman Powell. I like you even more now.
The headline is Heat waste big lead, wilts in fourth quarter in, quote, very bad loss to undermanned Cavs. Mobley is not there. Come on, man. Mitchell's not there. Like, that's not their team.
Garland's not there.
That's not their team. That's not what I thought the Heat's bet. Like, you can't. You're undefeated at home. Like, explain that to me. So it's a very bad loss. And they were 5.5-point favorites in the game with all of the Cavs back home, because the Cavs were – that's as close to tanking as a team will do overtly, is it not? Just sending its starters home like that.
Zaz, you know about that Naquan Tomlin?
That's a made-up name.
We want to do a spelling bee on Naquan. How do we spell it?
I mean, I know. The way y'all looking at me.
I'll take a try. I'll take a
All
stab
right, here we
at
go.
it. N-A-Q?
Nope.
You sure?
Thanks for playing.
That's how you spell Saquon.
Very bad loss, Norman Powell says. You guys will, I'm not saying it's the rarest of things, but it's normal for fans to say, wow, that's a bad loss. You rarely hear it in the locker room where a player will say that of other professionals. Generally, they respect the other team's backups.
No, I like it. I wish sometimes a player would come out and say, yeah, that's a really bad loss. That team sucks. We should have won.
Sometimes you do hear that when it's a team that's actually bad as opposed to a team that sat all of its starters. But I'm with Zaz, man. I like the accountability. I like this. Hey, man, we're not going to shirk this. We dropped the ball. They were up double digits in the first half. But then I'm watching the game all night, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It's a lot of ISO ball.
They were so sloppy.
So much isolation from the Heat, even when it was working for them. And then the other thing was, at one point I looked at the person next to me, I'm like, is this the Jared Allen game? Yeah. Because he looked like Hakeem down there. Everything around the rim, I'm like, you can't keep falling for an up fake from Jared Allen. Make him make a shot over you.
Yeah, and this is a substantive difference between whatever Ware is athletically that Bam isn't, but what Ware is defensively that Bam isn't. Like, this is not a minimal piece that's out for the Miami Heat. But regardless, yesterday we were out here loud and proud on what the Heat are going to be, because they were undefeated at home and they're still scoring an incredible amount per game. But you lose that game, and then Steph Curry does Steph Curry at Wemby, and 24 hours later, we all sound ridiculous talking about basketball in 24-hour terms. This is a punishment for you. It's a punishment for you.
You got to raise it. You're like Steve Spagnuolo. You don't know. You're holding the sheet down here. It's got to be in
What
front
is
of your
the
face.
punishment? That you're chewing gum during the show, or that you're doing the Pete Carroll? Which is the what? Okay, the punishment is Pete Carroll.
Yeah, and the gum is part of being Pete Carroll.
200% more gum.
I have to spend an hour in the bathroom putting on makeup with my wife to get my costume ready. You throw on a Raiders jersey and a headset and throw some gum in your mouth.
QZ.
And
I
that's,
ate 70 nuggets.
Well, I've learned, and I also took a gummy before the show. Just emotionally prepare for how difficult.
And the makeup stuff at culpa tuya.
I mean, what do you want me to do? There are punishments on the bucket board, and I take the punishments and I do the punishments, and I've done more punishments than anybody else.
All right, so when you say, what do you want me to do, it doesn't surprise me that you don't wait for an answer and then you tell me what the answer is on what do you want me to do. Hey. What I want you to do is respect the audience and the punishments.
Excellence is not an act.
Respect,
it's a habit.
Respect the punishments and the audience by putting some effort into We are a watched and listened to show, an entertainment option for people, and you're cheating the punishments and the audience when you do the Pete Carroll this way.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Give me a break. Can you give me a break?
Anyway, the basketball stories.
Take your time.
He called a timeout.
That's the same sound as the penalty box. Don't distract me. Be on my team, please. Someone here be on my team.
He called a timeout. What do you want me to do?
The NBA has 10 games in. You have blow up the Clippers.
He's so distracting.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it in my ear. It's been private. It's been private.
I've just been holding the private communications button, chewing in his ear.
Just chewing in my ear and also putting the play sheet over him, and it sounds like a faraway air traffic controller when he's like, no, 79's the mic. 79,
no, stop
59's the mic.
I don't like
I'm just doing it to you.
They dropped a D lineman?
No, this is what I'm saying. It's meant to distract me. I'm thinking in my ear, talking to you guys. I'm like, you don't put a D lineman in the mic.
They drop it back to nose tackle?
You're confusing me with the defense. What is the nose tackle doing in coverage?
One time, Gino. One time.
So I'm having an argument with the show in my head, and this is what it's like to be in an insane asylum where you hear voices in your head because it's not just chewing gum. He's also throwing mock plays at me, decoy plays at me. It's not just normal plays.
You got to be ready, Dano.
So I've got blow up the Mavs, blow up the Clippers, okay? You got Mark Cuban getting back into management, going to have some reportedly more voice around the Mavs as they try to fix what Amin is calling a crater trade. You have the possibility of your franchise being doomed for 30 years. Amin is shouting from the mountaintops, do you know what's been done here? We're sitting here watching the smoldering crater, and Amin's saying, hey, it's a lot worse than this. This is now. It's hard to dig out of this if Cooper Flagg doesn't end up becoming Luka. So you got blow up the Mavs. You got Jason Kidd. Can we play this sound? You got Jason Kidd saying, the Mavs coach.
Go ahead and play the sound.
And this will drown everyone in leadership in Dallas if they continue to underestimate how mad their customers are. Like, this is not the America to insult your customers when they pay a lot of money to support you by telling them to move on when they don't want to move on.
Okay, hit it.
That we don't have to go through that again because it was a little disrespectful because the guys are playing hard and they're trying to win. And so with that chant during when we're shooting free throws, it's
30 on the clock.
But understanding that they got their point across, the fans, but we have to move forward. I understand the healing
15.
process for the fans, but these guys are playing hard. Ever since the trade,
10 seconds on
these
the clock.
guys have given everything.
You got a timeout. You're clear.
Zaslow, when I hear Jason Kidd, and he doesn't mean this as lecturing, he's going to protect his players, but this bubble is getting smaller and smaller that these guys are allowed to exist in.
Bubble!
And they're in the rarest of places. They're in our customers are coming to the arena and they kind of hate us, and it's not because we're bad. They just want a place to kind of hate something because of how mad they are. Not a lot of teams play at home that way.
I totally hear everything you're saying, and I understand it can be hurtful for the franchise where, let's say, you want to try and acquire a free agent, and then they think, wow, do I want to go there where our own fans are going to hate us every game? That's certainly not going to help acquire players. But I don't feel like being lectured by Jason Kidd if I'm a Mavericks fan who had my heart ripped out, and now because we got our point across, it's time to move on. Like, there's going to be a time when Jason Kidd is no longer the coach of the Mavericks, and that's I'm not saying like he's going to get fired anytime soon. That's every coach in the league. There's going to be a time where he is no longer the coach of the Mavericks, and guess how little he's going to care about the Mavericks on a day-to-day basis. He's not going to. But all of those fans who are in the building who have yet to move on, they care about that team for the rest of their lives. Don't tell me not to be angry and to move on.
All right, tighten it up.
When you say ripped out the hearts of your customers, I do think that one of the things that you guys just have to, especially if you have kids, that you just have to imagine. Just imagine explaining to your kid who's wearing the Luka jersey why your team did what it did. And that's his generation of fandom that's beginning, or hers, that's beginning right there. I mean, your thoughts on what is happening there? These people have the risk of being swallowed by continuing to underestimate the damage they've done.
Well, I think, first of all, I got to disagree with Zaz. Like, Jason Kidd's point is apt. Regardless if Nico is still there or not, that has nothing to do with anybody on the floor. Matter of fact, none of them even have control over that. They are all subordinates to a decision that is happening far above them. So how does – it's not – he's saying don't chant it. He's saying the game's on the line and our guy is on the free throw line.
What's going on?
Our guy's on the free throw line. Why are you distracting him? Why are you actively giving him negative energy? P.J. Washington had nothing to do with this, and that's the question right there. So I agree with Coach Kidd. It's like there's a time and place to do it, and that was the wrong time.
So is the team 3-9 because the fans are being mean?
They weren't booing, like, boo, you guys suck. They're saying, fire Nico. That's very different.
Let me ask you, though, I mean, is there another team in the league presently playing at home under the hostility I'm speaking of? It's not that we're mad at you because we think you're bad. This is a place for us to vent at what you did to us.
They're also bad, by the way. No, I mean, obviously not. There's no team that even comes close to this because, again, nobody has ever pretty much done a deal like this in real time. So
don't tell the fans to move on.
But, again, like, hey, if you want to boo Nico, if you want to boo Patrick Dumont, sure. Even if you want to, like, boo the team, but the game was not in hand, It was in the balance. The guy has a chance to make free throws and win this game. Why are you actively playing defense against that? I think that's the point.
And to that point, like, at what point is it going to be enough? Right? It's the whole season?
Probably when
the
team's
season
good.
after that?
Probably when they're good.
So what if they're not going to good for another 5 years?
But guys, the reason I keep thinking that this is being underestimated emotionally, it's just super rare for a fan base to want to punish its team because it's mad at its team because they want to blame somebody. So we don't care if we win during this shit season because miss the free throws because bleep all of you. That's why I'm going to the game, to go and get into the crowd and have my outrage fed so that I can have lighter fluid. The country's paying attention to me. We have a bonfire in Dallas. Mark Cuban's rushing into the rescue. I got it. I'll save them. And everyone in Dallas is hurt, wounded, and lashing out at the home team.
So, Zaz, a comp is when Portland had the quote-unquote jailblazers, right? Their players were getting in trouble, getting arrested. Meanwhile, the team also wasn't so good, right? That's a situation where I'm like, okay, you can boo them.
Yeah.
You boo them because they are responsible. They are the ones who are doing this stuff. P.J. Washington, Cooper Flag, these guys have nothing to do with the workings of a higher up. P.J. Washington, you think P.J. Washington like, yeah, trade Luka. I'd love to get him out of here. Those guys, of course they want to play with Luka. Of course they'd love to have him.
So you're telling me when P.J. Washington's on the free throw line, a professional basketball player who plays half his games on the road, where the entire crowd is chanting and yelling and booing and wanting you to miss free throws. The crowd chanting, fire Nico, is so disrespectful and distracting for him, he can't make free throws, even when he knows it's coming.
It is jarring. He doesn't know it's coming in that moment. You're at home.
They're doing the whole game.
12th man.
You're at home, and again, you're at home, and this isn't third quarter free throws. This is crunch time free throws. And you're like, wait, do they want us to lose? What's happening here? That is a jarring experience that I don't think most NBA players would expect in that scenario.
Do you think Jason Kidd really thinks that part of the reason that they're not playing well is because the crowd is chanting. They're 3-9.
No, I just think it's like, hey, we're already having a hard enough time. We've got all these injuries, whatever. It doesn't help to have, fans doing this.
It definitely doesn't help, but stop telling fans what to do when they're the ones who are the victims, the fans.
But so Zaz, they are not helping in this regard, right? I don't know how many people listening to this believe in any kind of energy stuff, okay?
Zaz, this is the analogy I'll give you. If Dan Le Batard did something to upset me, would it be okay for me to slap Mike?
Whoa.
Well, Mike, you're all part of the team.
I mean,
I'm going to slap Mike, right? Like that. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, Percy Harvin choking out players in the locker room. You won a Super Bowl. It happens.
Ethan's dog?
When we're talking about energy as it relates, I mean, honestly, it's not bad enough he's trying to distract me. You go in with Ethan's dog as the joke, knowing you're going to annoy me. Knowing you're going to annoy me because you're going so inside on a joke for 6 people. It's not enough that Mike's doing this. When I talk about energy stuff, Zaz, I'm not talking about spiritual stuff, okay? I'm talking about everyone listening to this believes what I'm about to say. Home field advantage is a thing because the energy of the crowd matters, because the crowd gets into the game and supports its home team. That support is worth something. You're going to tell me the opposite of that does not affect players trying to be professionals at the center of that crater? Like, you can argue it if you want, but if they're playing in a place that's a misery energetically, where their own fans are not there for support, holy shit, that's not an atmosphere I'm used to seeing basketball teams play at home in.
Right, Dan. I think the important distinction is home energy, positive is what we believe. Road energy, negative. We also expect that. Reggie Miller, LeBron James, all these players are like, oh, I love it when they start booing, right? It fuels me. The thing that I don't think any professional athlete in any sport is prepared for is home crowd negative energy.
I think what we could all agree on, though, because what you're saying is fine and it obviously makes sense. But I think what we could all agree on is this is as unique a situation we have ever seen. And in this unique situation, there's one person who is the victim here, and it's the fans. And I don't want the players or the coaches, who are the ones getting paid, when the fans who are showing up and apparently being disrespectful to you are still the ones paying to see you. I don't want the fan being told what to do.
Okay, but the next step on that, you're correct, right? I think most people listening to this would say, yeah, the fans paying customer, don't tell me how to care. I care. I pay for everything.
And they're doing it because they care.
My care pays for everything here. But when I'm describing the following to you, Jason Kidd is saying from at the bottom of this thing, ostensibly they all care about, hey guys, that's not helping. I need those free throws at the end to get all of this shit out of my building. I'm under the avalanche too. I work here. It hurts me too. Please stop doing that so that when my guys are taking free throws at home, not whether it affects them or not, we don't have the energy of that's not support. Our customers are not with us. Like, if you guys believe that this is an emotional relationship between fans and their businesses, and that it's the emotions business, this is a betrayal of that, to have inside of your building the energy of the home team doesn't want you to win, doesn't want to help you. The home team is there to blame you and making it worse. It makes the entire relationship deeply emotionally dysfunctional. The home fan is not there rooting against his or her team.
All right, we're stuck here. Got to move on.
Well, and it's probably why you need to blow it up.
Run game not working.
Like, we need to start.
Okay, so what does that look like? GM Jazz comes in. He's like, all right, the full gambit of everything's at my disposal. What do I do?
I would trade Anthony Davis today.
That's not getting very much hurt. That you're basically trading Luka for nothing. You send Anthony Davis away, you're not going to get very much.
So this is a really important conversation because at the same time, the Clippers are dealing with their own issues. Bradley Beal is out for the year with a hip injury.
There we go.
They're horrible. Kawhi's been out, right? And so we were talking who needs to blow it up more. The problem is the Clippers, because of the Paul George deal from way, way back, still owe picks, so they can't blow it up, even if they got a zillion assets in return, because if they go bad into the toilet, you know what happens, Dan? If they go in the toilet,
Yeah, the OKC's going to get the good picks.
the best team in the league,
It's amazing.
gets like the number 1 overall pick. Meanwhile, Dallas actually owns its pick this year, but after this year, it turns into swaps and pick obligations. So this is the time right now. You push a red button in Dallas, you've given yourself an opportunity to start building something. You're not going to get equal return, Dan, as you asked right there. But
They had their pick this year.
At this point, it's not about
I mean, it's
making
not
up for other
it's
mistakes.
not that they're not going to get equal return. Right now, you will be trading what you got for Luka, what you told everybody in the league was the future that we get for Luka. You'd be trading it at its lowest value in the career of Anthony Davis.
Dan, you can't keep digging a hole and thinking if I dig deeper, maybe I'll get out of the hole.
Jason Kidd told us to move on. So move on from the awful trade.
Anthony Davis is a top 75 player all time. You trade him for nothing, and what are you going to get for him, Amin?
Dan, this is the moment. It's more about the timing than it is what I'm going to get for him, right? If I wait until his value goes up, I may have jeopardized the one small window of time. We've got a very tight window to turn keys and push that nuclear option. Outside of that window, we can't have that option available. So it's more about the timing, and whoever comes in to take control, you can't be worried about what the other guy before you did to mess us up. All I can do is do the best thing moving forward from this point on. And right now, the best thing moving forward, probably for Dallas, 11, 12 games in, is blow it up.
On the Clippers end of it, though, you're talking about they don't have the luxury that Dallas has to get their first round pick, right? So it's not good for them to blow it up this season. The problem is they're already in the toilet, right? Kawhi is going to be out for who knows how long. He's got a foot sprain and an ankle sprain. The team is just not good. Bradley Beal out for the season. Like, you have all these things that are the inertia is pushing you that way anyway. Why not? And I know Tom Haverstraw wrote this in the summer.
What do you say?
Go trade Kawhi Leonard. Go get somebody else. Go trade him to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson. Like, there's plays to be made that, yeah, you're not going to be exactly what you need, but like, you got to get out from the hole that you're in.
So there is a blueprint for this. The Nets, when they traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Jason Terry, they had all those picks going out unprotected, all those pick swaps. And so once they figured out, oh, this isn't working, all you can do is build like the most rugged, competitive team. The picks are gone. You can't save that, but all you can do is build a team that's going to be healthy and available and win games in the short term to make sure those picks are the 10th pick as opposed to the second pick.
Can I just stop all of you for a second, okay? Because I know we run from 10 games to 10 games in sports with just blinders on, and so many people not that long ago wanted Bradley Beal. And now Bradley Beal has sabotaged a couple of different plans, and in the middle of those plans, I don't want to just skip past this Clippers part of it. Pablo detonates a bomb in the middle of that. All of us are a little confused by why would the Clippers trade Norman Powell for Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love when he's an important, almost all-star on three delicate pieces there that nobody trusts before him. You guys are telling me after I thought that the Clippers had a championship chance last season, the way that they finished the season 33-13 and could have beaten any team in the league, and it wasn't an asinine opinion to have except but for it's the Clippers and you can't trust Kawhi Leonard or James Harden in a Game 7. You guys are telling me 6 months later all of the Clippers stuff is done and we can pronounce it now, given specifically the part that we're ignoring, which is OKC is totally overwhelming. Totally overwhelming.
I mean, tell them about John Collins.
Yeah, they didn't trade for Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love. It was a three-way deal. They got John Collins from Utah in that deal.
Thank you for the addition. The Clippers, you're telling me, are now a nuked thing, fried thing, finished as a product, blow all of it up. when I was not asinine in saying that team could have won the championship, the one that headed into the playoffs last year.
No, 100%. And they played so well to end the season. The problem is that's what it is for championship windows with guys in their mid-30s, right? The window is open one year, and then the next year it is completely shut. And then you're looking around saying, not only do we have an issue with the NBA who's looking up under every crevice we got about the aspiration situation, Kawhi is not even healthy now. James Harden's, okay, he's good. Like, you can get something for him. Zubats has been bad to start the year. Like, Norman Powell's not there. John Collins is an okay piece off the bench. Like, what do you have in the Clippers organization?
It's a really old team. Leonard, Harden, Bradley Beal, Brook Lopez. They got Chris Paul's corpse. You know they have Chris Paul's corpse coming off the bench?
Dan, I did a bit a long time ago about Doc Rivers' decision tree process. It's like, hey, did you play for me 100 years ago? Oh, come back, welcome to the Clippers, right? And it's funny, he's not there anymore, but it's still the same kind of thing. When you're playing scrapbook GM, like, oh, I remember him. Remember when he was good somewhere else? Think of the names he just said. Other than John Collins, who's young? Who's somewhere close to their prime? They're playing off of memories. And yes, those guys are all still very good basketball players. But the other part of this, Dan, is when you go and get old guy after old guy after old guy, you're saying, oh, by the way, Father Time ain't going to come around here with a sprained ankle or a broken hip.
But do you guys realize what you're saying? If you guys are right, if you guys are accurate in saying demolish everything with the Clippers, when I pair it to what OKC is doing at the start of this season and after last season, we're over here talking about this Luka trade again and again and again, and this other one's going to go down as one of the worst we've ever seen in the history of sports because you've just given so much fuel to OKC that when you're bad this year and it blows up on Steve Ballmer's face, you've got the legitimate possibility. I think there are worse teams in the league, but if it's really bad with the Clippers this year, then you're going to be giving the number 1 overall pick to a team that already has 2 key pieces out and has lost 1 time this season.
By the way, another team we haven't talked about at all, but is in a similar situation, the New Orleans Pelicans, because their pick is going to Atlanta. And they're awful this year.
Good job by Joe Dumars.
Zion's still fat, and well, no, not still fat, but he's still not healthy, right? And Derek Queen, while he looks like a good player,
is not
certainly
all NBA.
Yeah, he's not enough to lift the Pelicans beyond where they're at right now, which is a 2-9 team. And so this, Dan, is just like the ballad of, hey, when you give away a pick without protection, you are playing the most dangerous game in basketball.
By the way, it's not just this pick, this 26th first-round pick that the Thunder have from the Clippers that's unprotected. They also have their pick next year. It's a swap next year, but like, if the Clippers are really bad again, the Thunder get it again.
Zaz, this is my whole Nico thing. It's like, you can't tell me that Anthony Davidson, 1 first-round pick, even if you think Anthony Davis is the best thing since sliced bread, you can't tell me that was good enough value when the Clippers are still paying off for Paul George. They still have like installments left on their layaway plan.
See, my biggest thing with that was also, there was no time in that conversation that Nico Harrison said, you're also going to give us Austin Reeves. Like, Rob Pelinka, who had this gift fall on his doorstep, you think he's not acquiring Luka Doncic because he won't hand over Austin Reeves?
Do you think Rob Pelinka is going to be the guy who say, hey, I could have had Luka. Well,
Yeah.
why didn't you?
Right.
I didn't want to give up Austin Reeves.
It's inexplicable, right?
But this goes back to kind of what I talked about yesterday when I read the quote from Jeremiah Sengelman, who used to work in the front office. When you surround yourself over the course of years, not just in that window of time, but over the course of years, with people who don't tell you the realness, who don't provide critical feedback that is opposite of whatever your impulse is. I used to say, when I worked in the front office, as people always ask me, oh, what did you do? Did you make trades? Did you draft people? Like, no, I'm not the GM. I don't do that. My job was to provide enough critical evidence to the contrary of whatever you wanted to do.
Probably a little too much Amin.
Well, I'm just saying.
Play the Barkley sound here because he is defending Nico Harrison. And like I am probably remiss in falling into the trap that we do with all of the NBA soap opera, which is blow up the Clippers, blow up Dallas. Nobody pay attention. That's Jokic putting up 55 to end the Clippers last night. That's
like 90% true shooting, by the way.
No, but I mean, I'm
player.
The top 2 players that I believe that all of us would say for the last 3 years, the best 2 teams in the league are OKC and Dallas, and Boston snuck in there with like this spaceship that just took threes better than everybody else.
Let's run a play for Roy.
Well, the Panthers play tonight against the Washington Capitals. That's my play right there, Mike. Thank you.
Gadget guy. Kind of like Taysom Hill.
Audible out of this.
We are good idea. Thank you. You've thrown the quarterback.
All right, let's not go back to him.
It was just a terrible play call. I don't understand why on 3rd and 11 you made me
breaker.
spike the ball when there were no clock issues
break some
going on.
tendencies.
Now you got to go for it on 4th down.
I know, but I hit 4th and 11.
Let's
and
not give it to Marshawn.
I don't trust my coach because he just told me to spike it, and we weren't even dealing with a clock situation. I don't understand why he made me throw the ball at
Taking it out of the
Roy.
playbook. All right.
Dan.
We're paying attention to the wrong things.
Okay, so let's pay attention to the right things. If I ask you, what do you think Nikola Jokic is shooting from the field this season?
It's crazy.
Don't say
100%.
Oh, what are you doing?
He knows how to play this game.
How? Yeah, I mean, every time I look up,
14%.
he's at least his bad games are he went 9 for 10.
So give me a number. You give me a number.
Well, okay, I'll say 58%.
He's shooting 68% from the field.
It's insane.
That would be better than anyone ever, right?
He's shooting 42% from 3. He's shooting 78%
What?
on non-3-point shots. So he's taking about 12 of those shots a game inside the 3-point line and shooting 78%.
That's
on them.
that one has to be a record, right?
Well, no, but shooting, if you shot 68% for a season,
DeAndre Jordan had a year where he shot like 75%.
Okay, but I'm talking about somebody who
but still 78% Jokic twos is better than DeAndre Jordan.
But shooting 78% from twos is ridiculous, but having an efficiency from all of the floor of 68%, there's nobody. Michael Jordan's best seasons would be at 58%, 57%. There's nobody
on 2-pointers. I think Jordan was pretty high, obviously on 2-pointers, but not that high because again,
that would be a record field goal percentage. That's not sustainable. He can't do that. LeBron's best season was the one in Miami where he shot 58% from the field because he decided that season I'm not going to play a game that allows for inefficient shots.
Jordan, LeBron, good stuff.
Wilt in the 71-72 season shot 72% from the field.
Okay, all right, but we know what that is. That's not shooting. That's a lot of dunking and being bigger than everyone else.
Yeah, but I think that's
the best comparison, no?
John Moran trade.
Well, the only reason it's not the best comparison is because Jokic is shooting what he is from 3. Wilt Chamberlain never took a 3. Wilt Chamberlain would never shoot from anywhere.
That's the air conversation. Put that in.
The thing that I am just saying, Amin, is we will not stop talking about Jalen Brunson limped off the court. We will not stop talking about the daily soap operas of what's happening in Dallas. We will not stop talking about Steph and LeBron. But the best teams are not the best stories. And so Denver and OKC and all of that excellence will turn to ashes around all the other shit, correct? That during the regular season, there is nothing OKC can do. That maybe threaten the record of 73 wins in a season, but there's next to nothing OKC can do that will matter. Their regular season is not interesting to the public.
No, you just named it. Like threatening the 73 wins, that's the thing, and they're certainly on pace for it.
And I think the manner in which they're winning, I mean, again, they beat the Lakers, who have been good this year, and everyone's been really excited and inspired by them. They smacked them, and again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scores 30, and again, he doesn't play the fourth quarter. And so at some point, this is going to sound kind of crazy, it becomes bad TV because if every game is a blowout, then it's really hard to keep people tuned in.
All right, we got 2 minutes here. 2-minute warning.
The part that I find most interesting is storylines.
Got to go quick.
Bang against excellence.
Quick.
Boston snuck in there for a year and took the You need me to talk fast?
We got to go,
2
Dan.
minute tempo.
Hurry up, offense.
Roy, what should I do?
Audible out of this play.
Yeah. Don't go to Roy.
We don't have an audible. It's
Don't go to
2-minute
Roy.
offense.
Don't go to Roy.
OKC is not going to be talked about this season, and they're going to be better than everybody again. They're winning by 30. They're not like they had the 2 overtime games at the beginning of the season, but they're dragging everybody.
How did they lose that one game to Portland?
They didn't have anybody play.
No, they played. They played their guys. What happened in Portland was they played against a Portland team they were playing on a back-to-back.
Danny
What
Avdija.
Oklahoma City was.
Whoa, wow. No one rested?
Nobody rested.
Wow.
And they lost that
Crazy.
game.
Did you just make that up? Did you from that seat just make up that nobody played in that game? Who
I didn't
said
say it. Tony did. Mike did.
Tony just pointed at Mike.
I didn't say it.
What are you talking about?
You know, thought we could trust Roy in that situation. Really thought we could. Yeah.
Drop the ball.
Thought we could trust him. Have a lot of
I don't
regret.
understand.
You know, it starts with me.
It's
I made the call. I made the call to go to Roy. Panthers didn't play last night. I should have known that. You know, he's a lot like Leroy Horde. You need 3 yards, he'll give you 3 yards. You need 4, he'll give you 3. And I just got to do a better job there. I thought the fans were great. A couple calls didn't go our way. Probably stayed on basketball way too long. Especially with the CFP rankings. That's bread and butter right there. That's our identity. We'll talk politics, so push away the remainder of our audience next segment.
Legend, Carrot Top.
The man is a legend, and he's a legend in Vegas, where it's hard to be a legend. I've seen him. His face is ID to get into all the big places. And he's also, though, he's a Florida guy as well, and I think he should be a Panther fan because he grew up in Boca. So I don't know where he is, but I believe he's bigger than Wayne Newton now. He's more Vegas than Wayne Newton, and I'm not joking when I say comedy legend for 40 bleeping years. 40 bleeping years and still doing it 4 times a night in Vegas. You, Carrot Top, Mr. Top, are rooting for who in this series?
You can't say 40 bleeping years. It just doesn't sound cool. You know, you got to say 40 years. But, it's going to be really rough. This might be the hardest decision of my life, being from Boca. I think I performed at the Sunrise Musical Theater when I was young. But my roots, I mean, I'm in Vegas. They're listening to me right now. I'm here in Las Vegas, and it's tough. I got to be honest. I think my heart is a little more for Las Vegas.
What?
No!
I know.
No!
I'm here
You
every night.
sell out. You sell out.
Are you cranking it before the game?
You mean like drugs?
No, I mean the thing where you crank it and you get everybody hyped.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
So I really don't know, even though I'm talking to David Samson where and when the time permits, I really don't know how he is doing what he is presently doing, which is a daily show that is 3 times a week now, but is normally daily, as he manages some stuff at home that has been really profoundly difficult, some of the worst pain that I can't imagine much worse pain than what it is that he's presently going through. I assume that he's still working because he's duty-bound, he's responsible, and because there are parts of this that he enjoys. He has now shaved his head in solidarity with his daughter and his family. And Zaslow asked me a question. I didn't know how to answer it, even though I've known you for 20 years, and I could generally feel feel pretty confident answering these questions. He's like, can we say who David looks like now? Is that insensitive? Is it insensitive to say who in arts or entertainment David looks like now that he's got this big gray beard and that he's shaven? And I would assume that you'd be okay with that, but he didn't want to be indelicate over something that was, so family personal as you shaving your head to show everyone really that you're in pain with your daughter.
Zaz, go ahead. I don't recognize what I look like, so to me, I don't look like anybody. But if you've got a doppelganger out there that you would like to advance the show with, past Dan's ridiculous takes on Wilt Chamberlain, please feel free.
You don't think Wilt could hit some threes?
I just think that Dan misled a fraction of the audience into saying that all he did was dunk because he was bigger than everyone else. Wilt Chamberlain had not only did he have a great mid-range game, and Amin, I don't know where you were here with telling Dan, unless part of the rules are now at Meadowlark that we can't say anything bad to Dan. That was just an irresponsible statement, Dan.
They threw it to Roy.
Look, Wilt Chamberlain, his game was limited. He was bigger and stronger and more athletic than everyone else, and therefore he would say, "What are you looking at me like? I don't know what I'm talking about."
He's a great
passer. He was bigger, like he was somebody for his time who was more athletically gifted in size, strength, and mobility than everyone he was playing against.
You could say that even today.
That's not Jokic.
He's one of the most athletic.
That's not what Jokic is. That's not what I'm watching when I'm watching Jokic. The reason Wilt Chamberlain shot that percentage from the field is because he was playing a whole bunch of people who got stuck in his armpit.
So I understand that you're going to double down on that. But if you go back to what made Wilt Chamberlain fantastic, there was a guy who played for Boston. I mean, I can't think of who he was. I think he wore number 6, but it's escaping me. And
William Russell?
William Russell. That's the guy, I mean, with all the titles that Boston won. So it's not as though that Wilt was able to carry the Lakers to this, as you know, all of these great things. I just took offense to the fact that you would sully Wilt Chamberlain when, in fact, what we witnessed during that season when he was shooting 72%, the things that he was doing, we've never seen since. Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Jokic, Dokic, none of them.
David, number one, I
Who
found,
do I look like?
Well, I found you unrecognizable when I saw your show on Monday. That's not an insult. It's just I was like, I was shocked. I did not recognize you. But I think you look like Obadiah Stane from Iron Man.
Ooh.
I think you look like Jeff Bridges' character, the main villain in the first Iron Man movie. I think you look just like him.
Well, that's just bald with a beard.
Yeah, that's right. It's a key component.
Let me give you the background just so I'm not hiding anything. The reason for the beard is not because I want to grow hair on my face because I don't have it on my head. It's that I shave on Sundays, and I had shaved on September the 6th, which is the Sunday going into Monday, September 7th. And then my daughter got sick on September 12th. And the first thing that she did when she regained consciousness was to play with my what at the time was just sort of a little bit of growth. And every day since then, she plays with my beard all the time. And so I promised I would never shave it, and I will never shave it until I just won't ever shave it for now. And so the hair was because part of treatments is that she is without hair for the most part. And so I wanted it to be, along with her boyfriend and brother-in-law, we wanted to show the beauty of that and take power over that. And now it is a combination where she doesn't spend a lot of time up here. It's still the beard that is the infatuation. So that is the day. And Dan, the reason I do shows is that I want to feel less lonely. I enjoy doing this with you every week. I enjoy interacting with the audience. Unfortunately, my day today is that I have to do something with Pablo that I really don't want to do, but I feel totally obligated to, and I could blow it off, but I don't want to do it to our partner Pablo, who's releasing shows and investigating stuff and being investigated. So I have to do something that takes time away from my daughter with him today, Dan.
So if I may, for the audience, if you want to support the things that David is doing, he's got an unusual connection with his audience, and he does feel duty-bound to that audience to do an entertaining show every day that he's still working on, even though it's obviously something that hurts to let the priorities down on, as he must. A difficult question for you that I've not asked you personally or privately. Where are you with the differences in how it is you're experiencing love these days? And what has been changed about you over the last 2 months of nightmare as you've confronted a life turned upside down with something you could not have imagined in your worst nightmares as being this kind of life-altering?
Definitely could never have imagined the situation. And I would say where I am with love, and it's something that I think about, obviously, because you'd think that your reaction would be that you want to take advantage of every minute, that you want to remember every moment, and that you go back with some regret over decisions that you've made over time you didn't spend with your daughter when you could have. And the struggle I'm having is that I don't know that I would have done anything differently because I only had the information I had at the time. And I never would have expected there to be this sort of issue that exists, that costs time. Because as you know, my relationship with time is far more complicated than my relationship with love. But right now, the family, and we're very much hunkered down. And the problem is that there is no time to show enough grace to each other. There is no time to show enough love to each other because it is basically every day dealing with something. Does this help her get better? That's the question. Does this help give her a moment of being happier? That's the question. Not how do I show more love to myself or to others. None of us are taking care of ourselves the way we should because we're focused on taking care of her because that's all that matters. And the question you have to ask yourself is that balance is a difficult one because it is having a tremendously negative impact on everyone in the family. And I could almost argue, and people are going to misunderstand this, there's an argument to be made that the impact on everyone else is as significant as the impact on her. And there's a bunch of factors that I don't want to talk about that make that a true statement that may not sound true to you. But these are issues that come up, including until 1 a.m. last night during a family meeting. While there is a show the next day at 7 a.m. live, I had to be someplace, so I had to get on my bike and go to a house at 10:30 at night for several hours. And my phone goes off, and that's not a fine because it's on silent except for family who text from time to time about treatments and stuff. So it's all a mess, Dan, and I don't want to waste your audience's time, and I'm not looking for anything other than the love that you guys have given me, and I appreciate that.
David, how do you make sure, if it's okay for me to ask, how do you make sure that she doesn't see how it's affecting you? Because I'm sure you don't want her to have to think about that.
That is the best question, and no one's asked that. And there's a lot of whispering that goes on. There's a lot of going to the other room. There's a lot of things that happen after she goes to sleep. So you're right. You can't show any of that. You have to be a united front. You have to be cheery and upbeat all the time when you feel like not being that any of the time. And so it is a lot of acting. It's a lot of pretending. And the dichotomy of how you feel versus how you want to look is so different that you end up having to use the other people in the room as your bellwether. Hey, how do I look now? Because when you're crying, you can't stay in the room with her because you want her to see you crying. And so we have a place where she is, where we go and cry out of sight. It's really something, Zaz, but you're right. You don't want to ever show any of that to her.
I'm going to try to move on to some of the other stuff here in a second, including playing some video that will lighten this up of David on a bicycle that I was sent yesterday that must have been a mortifying situation to him because it looked like he was running through the city of New York with a stolen bicycle. But before we play that particular video, just one more thing for people who have sort of witnessed your journey over 20 years with this show. There was a time that you walked out of a funeral many, many years ago where you felt something and you felt like you had almost cried and you felt a human emotion that was a bit rare to you. It had reached you in a place where you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. How much has that stuff changed in the last 2 months because some part of this has allowed you to be broken open and really realize that you have been a dutiful father and you have had love inside you that might come with regret and guilt right now, but you know how hard you love. Like, you're under no confusion about that right now.
No, I'm not afraid to or ashamed to go full Rosie Greer. I've cried every day since September 12th. At some point, there isn't a day that goes by where it's not in my head. There's no escaping from it. As I sit here with you, there's no escape. Even doing nothing personal, there's no escape. So I can't find the escape. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know. What therapists have been helpful with is trying to navigate the unnavigable. And the problem is that that road can't start right now because we're in such acute emergency situation that the only thing that matters is what we're doing in terms of care. So the answer is every day is a struggle in a way that is hard to talk about. And the video you're going to show is a perfect example. And I don't know how you got the video, actually, is a perfect example. I think it could have been Bimmel. That I recorded a show that just came out last night with Pablo. That show was recorded yesterday. And I was in between a treatment and in between a therapy session. And I had to get to your studio to record in a certain time frame. And so the only way to do it was on a bicycle. And that is true. That happened yesterday.
All right, so they're downloading it now. Pete Carroll has gotten in everyone's way in the video room, and something that would have been available moments ago is now being overmanaged and micromanaged because Pete Carroll has decided to go into the other room and block the video from being played because he's making some sort of editorial judgment in tone and content.
Dan, he's got to learn everybody's job top to bottom. That's why he's the CEO of the company and for the Oakland Raiders. Like, he's the guy making sure, hey, guys in the video room, I know what you're doing. I need to see what's going on over there. He's doing what he's got to do over here. I apologize.
All right, Mike, let me know when it is that we have the video that we're playing for the audience to have perfect comedic timing of a stolen bicycle. But how mortified were you? Because you looked pretty miserable in the video. You looked like, because the alarm was going off on a rental bike. It was a rental bike, and the alarm was he couldn't take a step because all of a sudden the bike is hovering above the ground and the rented bike needs to always be on New York pavement.
So let me explain. When you take a rental bike, you have to park it. And I had to this happened. This is me going from shooting the sporting class to the hospital, and I needed to be on a bike. And so I had a bike to the studio to arrive for shooting time, but I couldn't find a parking spot. So I had to take the bike into the studio and then take the bike out of the studio. But during the filming of the show, the bike went dead and the alarm went off as though I had stolen it. And when the electric bike's alarm goes off, they can't be moved and they're super heavy. So I was schwitzing, trying to move the bike, knowing I had to get rid of that bike to get a new bike to get to the hospital at the right time in order to get to the next appointment. And I was in full panic mode. And Bimmel, God bless him as CEO, his first thought was, a la Pablo, this looks like content. Let me tape it. So I'm trying to get the bike in the elevator. I can't lift it. And he can't help me because he's too busy videoing.
Let me hear the
That's
sound.
What happens.
Play the sound here real quick so people can hear our guy Bimmel harassing David Samson with a stolen bicycle.
Since this happened, you were stealing a city bike. I was going to be late to sporting class. And so I couldn't be late, and I couldn't find a parking spot, so I brought it to the studio. And now they think I'm stealing it.
David Samson's life right now is an emotional Iditarod. He is just running from place to place with sled dogs that are exhausted. Regardless, David, Mike, please stop hassling the people in the other room. You're getting in the way of the show. Like, stop doing that. You're chewing gum and distracting the entirety of the show with your punishment.
Danny kind of looks like Hancock in that video.
Yeah.
He's got the
Seen that movie?
beanie and the glasses.
You do look pretty good, David. You do look like you've got your stuff together. Let's get to some sports stuff here because the sporting class is where it is that David Samson, John Skipper, and Pablo do the sports business stuff better than anywhere else I've heard. David does a lot of good sports business stuff on Nothing Personal. But also, I would imagine that you have been better on this baseball gambling scandal than most people because I've been confused that, A, the basketball gambling scandal seems to be something that's getting a lot more attention, coverage, and interest when the baseball scandal means one of the best closers in baseball is probably never going to throw a major league pitch again. And that seems to me to be it should be a bigger story. It's a pretty big story, but it should be a bigger story given what that guy's career trajectory was.
Well, I think it's a pretty amazing story that it took 3 days for MLB and the sports books to get together and change the rules and basically curtail certain prop bets and limit the maximum amount you can bet to $200 on what, let's say, in-game next pitch velocity, et cetera, the things that can really cut to the integrity in a way that is touchable, palpable. And I want to give credit to DraftKings. We're obviously a DraftKings network. We are a DraftKings show. But it's not easy when you are approached by a league with an existential crisis and your view can be the Heisman, which is, hey, that's your fault. That's your problem. You can deal with it. Instead, they got together and said, we can find a way to make sure that all the customers, because that's what matters is customers, that they realize that we're all interested in the integrity of the moment and of the game. And therefore, we're going to be willing to throw money away, not take the amount of money that we could in order to give the appearance of more and more credibility. And it all happened super fast. And that's the thing to do when you're in the news and it's bad. Do something good and do it fast. And then there'll be the next story that people will focus on. And that's what MLB did along with the books.
But walk me through this part of it, right? Because one of the things that has always been a deterrent in recent years to the biggest and best players in sports being contaminated by corruption is they make too much money. Can you explain to the people, given how good Emmanuel Clase was going to be, over what is being reported as about $400,000 for just about everyone involved? How much money did he just cost himself as someone unlikely to ever throw a major league pitch again?
Yeah, I think that what people are missing is that rich people want to be richer. And players in that category, they like a lot of free stuff. Rich people like free stuff. If you go to anybody who's rich and say, hey, I'll give you an extra $5,000, you might say, wow, I won't bend over for $5,000. But guess what? Rich people do. They'll take the $5,000. And so it doesn't matter. Clase was not thinking to himself, hey, I got a chance to make $20 million. I'm going to turn down $5,000. That was not his thought process.
Answer my question. How much in career earnings did that closer with that arm at that age cost himself?
Let's conservatively say $25 million. Conservatively.
A year?
What's your point?
A year?
No. That's about what he would make. That's about where he would make. Let's say, now, could he be one of the relievers who could do it for 10 more years? I'm just saying average. Just say $25 million, which would be an amazing amount of career earnings. But what people have been saying, and I don't think you're one of them, unless you're doing it right now, is how could he be so stupid and short-sighted to take $5,000 to throw a ball as a ball and sacrifice the possibility of the $25 million. And what I'm telling you is players, people, they don't think that way. The person who robs the bank is not thinking about getting caught. He's thinking about what he's doing with the money.
I don't know how the bank robber thinks, but you tell me, Amin, what you think of this. You think Terry Rozier right now is considering how dumb it was to count $100,000 in cash and risk all of his career earnings?
Like the bank robber, is not usually wealthy.
I think the big thing is people believing it's something I can't get caught. So in the case of the pitchers, it's like it's the first pitch. I'm still gonna strike the guy out or get him out. No one's gonna notice. No one's gonna read up on that pattern. This kind of high profile case reveals to all pitchers now, they know, they can tell, right? In the Terry Rozier case, I think there's a difference between. Oh, man, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times it's not necessarily, hey, I can make money on this. Like, oh, I'll help my boys out, and I don't have to pay for it. That's the only thing I can think of if indeed he is guilty
I could
of
see
doing
that
this.
being.
Well, no, but that's probably the case in all the cases, isn't it?
I don't know about those pictures.
Yeah, well, no, it's when you read some of the details, that seems to be what's happening there, is it not, David?
Yeah, no, it's not uncommon what you're saying, Amin, where you think that players, and this happens in all sports, you see it in basketball and baseball, of course, you have no idea how big the payroll is for some of these players, how many people they're actually supporting. And this happens not just with Dominican players, but especially with Dominican players where their families just don't have money. I'm not talking about second generation like the Guerreros or the Tatises, but it is very, very common that player is looked at not just to support his family in the Dominican, but his family's family, his friends' family. And you see a lot of destruction and jealousy and anger that comes when people do not get money that they're expecting to get. It is a whole big Megillah. And so that is pressure that is on players that we would say, oh, my God, they're independently rich. But in fact, they're not as rich as you think because their expenses are so much higher than you realize.
I legitimately did not realize until right now. Wow, what an unbelievable oversight by me. So the most desperate situation I feel like I've ever been in publicly involves Sammy Sosa's home run. He finished second. He goes back to hurricane-ravaged Dominican, and people are literally trying to climb over the walls of his palace to get milk. Like, there is just legitimate hunger outside. And I did not realize until this very moment that, of course, what happened to those two guys is they were that Ortiz and Clase had no idea that they were going to be throwing away their entire careers because they threw one pitch for a guy back home so that he can make some money on some inside information that he had. There's no way they had any earthly idea what the consequences of that were.
That's certainly where my head is, Dan, and I see it all the time. And we see it mostly in the Dominican, not with gambling. You see it with steroids. So many of the players in the Dominican are doing steroids, and when they get caught, their view is, hey, listen, it was worth the shot. I thought that I could mask it, but if I do these steroids or if I lie about my age, I have a chance to get a larger signing bonus. I have a chance for my family to have an actual floor or an actual roof. The pressure on the players in the Dominican should not be undersold.
Yeah, give them a water break. Water break.
Nothing Personal is the name of the podcast, and he is back to watching some movies occasionally, trying to get back to some semblance of normal life around what he is doing. Before we get to whatever it is that you're reviewing, Amin, have you seen Being Eddie on Netflix, the Eddie Murphy documentary?
Not yet. It just came out this week. I've been watching a lot of basketball.
I will tell you just one story without spoiling it that was great. Jesse Jackson saw the barbershop scene in Coming to America where Eddie Murphy is playing all of the characters, including an old Jewish white guy. And Jesse Jackson goes to Eddie Murphy and says, all those guys are going to be stars. I feel like all of those guys are going to be stars in the movie.
Where's the spoon?
What are you reviewing for us this week, David?
I hope someone in the room has seen House of Dynamite.
Nobody. Not anybody.
Are you kidding me?
Audible.
House of Wax?
Okay. Forget it.
Check out the line.
No, but
the purpose of this review would be to have a conversation. I can review a movie no one's seen on Nothing Personal on Netflix, directed by Academy Award winner Catherine Bigelow, about what a government does when there is the day after tomorrow, that's an old reference, but for the younger people in the audience, that was a show about a nuclear war with Jason Robards where people thought there was an actual nuclear war. This movie, House of Dynamite, is about what goes on when there is a threat, the possibility that there could be a first strike done by our enemies and what we would do, how we would react, what are the chains of command. House of Dynamite does it from every angle, from different parts of government, and then it builds to an end where the end is Wait, I can't say the end.
It's the end
Don't spoil it, Dave.
It's the end of the chair company.
And boom goes the dynamite.
No spoilers.
So no spoilers,
No
Mike.
spoilers.
Thank you. So if you watch to the end, people are very concerned with the end of this movie, and they're losing what the movie was about. And the movie was about an examination of what perilous ground we stand on as it relates to nuclear proliferation and what could happen any day with leaders who are irrational or leaders who don't understand what it means to be in a world order. And so this movie took a chance, and it's being criticized because of an end, and nobody's discussing the entire first hour 40, and that's what I would prefer people to focus on.
So Bigelow made award-worthy art, and the conversation gets hijacked afterward that ignores the art and just becomes whatever the controversy of the day could be at the end of the movie.
And that's a very telling thing that's happening, where we are forgetting the forest and we are so focused on an individual tree and its sapling that it's making me insane, actually.
David Samson is a noted bicycle thief. He has nothing personal. You keep playing that sound whether Mike's ready to talk or not. Like you guys are not talking. Yeah. No, I know.
A lot of errant whistles in the crowd, Dan.
Look.
He stole a bike.
Chris.
That doesn't call for a whistle?
Stop, thief! Chris, I know. You don't need to give me your breakdancing move of I know what you're doing with the whistle, but Mike not hearing the whistle or reacting
Keep
to the
doing the
whistle
breakdancing.
just makes it something that's actively distracting to me as I'm trying to do
Always works.
a live show. What was
You
that?
opening a code?
What was that?
Camera.
What was
take
that?
more dancing.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to do a live program here.
Ooh, look at those shoulders, Dan.
That a lot of people are watching. That is not helpful. Pete Carroll is an active distraction. The punishment is only mine. David, nothing personal. Support the things that David is doing. He is being very willful about doing them right now. Thank you, sir. Much love. Before I update Doug Christie's latest press conference, I can't believe that I get to do Amin Finds Out.
Oh, nipples.
I've got Amin Finds Out because Amin came in here today wanting to report something and wanting to get into the Pablo Torre Finds Out game where he is revealing to the audience something it did not know in a way that delights and enlightens the audience.
So Dan, iPhone users might have experienced this thing.
I haven't.
He's too distracted, okay? Chris, no, but it's not just you that's distracted. It's not just me that's distracted. Chris has imaging for Amin Finds Out. He can't do it because he's too busy with those damn whistles. Like he doesn't have the imaging ready because he's doing a different show, the show that him and Mike want to do, that has now hijacked the video room too.
All right, let's pull him. Roy? Roy, take over.
He's going to the backup.
Yeah, we're pulling you.
Help the listener, please. Help the customer.
So if you were an iPhone user and you've recognized recently, oh man, I feel like I'm misspelling a lot. I know I'm typing. It's like I'm making all these typing mistakes. How is this possible? Right? Is there something wrong with me? You're not alone. This is happening to a lot of people, myself included. And the reason is there's a problem with the new iOS. I watched a video of a guy who slowed it down. You're typing the right letters, and it's entering the wrong letters. So you see, I'm dead serious, dude. You see the H get toggled, and instead of H, it'll be U. Like
you'll see the A and S for me.
Right, AS. Like it is actively playing defense against you. This is a big problem. I don't know why the iPhones are doing this, but I literally thought, I swear to God, I thought I was having some neurological disorder. And like, man, this is me getting older now. I can't type. I thought I'm typing the right thing, but I'm looking at the words. It's gibberish. Turns out, no, it's not you. It's the damn phone.
That is Amin finding out. I don't think you can do funnier than alleging against yourself a neurological disorder while stumbling on the neurological. It is.
It might still be true.
It is part of the aging process. You are feeling, this is unusual to say, and I hope that you can find for me, Roy, the sound and the video that I was trying to get from Chris back when he cared about doing his job instead of whatever the hell he's been doing for the last 45 minutes. There is some Charles Barkley video and sound that I was going to go to. that puts Amin in a position I have not heard before, as I'm hearing Charles Barkley in a position not a whole lot of people in the media are taking right now. Charles Barkley, as he often does, is saying something here that I'm not hearing a whole lot of other people saying about Nico Harrison and the Dallas situation.
Because the Mavs were a mediocre team until he made those trades. He was doing a good job. Then he had the bad luck with Anthony Davis never being available, basically. But the thing that bothers me is he's just being made a scapegoat. Listen, Shaq knows this, Kenny knows this. There's no way in the world Nico Harrison had the power to trade Luka Doncic unless the owner of the team signed
Patrick Dumont.
Yes, that was his call. So I feel bad the way Nico is being made a scapegoat. But anybody who knows anything about basketball know good and well Nico Harrison did not have enough power to trade Luka Doncic. So that's the thing that bothers me. He's had a streak of bad luck with Anthony Davis and Kyrie both getting hurt. But the premise of this trade is Nico Harrison. I hear all these fools and idiots on TV talk. Nico Harrison going to be the guy who traded Luka Doncic. No, the Dallas Maverick organization made that call.
Chuck is too skinny.
Oh, it's an odd look, man.
Se ve malito.
He's got like Aaron Rodgers vibes for me. It just looks off. Something you look at him, something looks off.
I think he looks great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I agree. He looks great.
I think you look like you drink sodas.
His suits are blousy.
Yeah, the shoulders are big on the suit. Shoulders are really big.
Dan, there's a level of like mortality that I feel looking at that, right? It's not just the clothes, the ill-fitting clothes. The face looks a little gaunt. The neck right here, little loose skin.
Oh, the
and
skin.
It's like some of my people say,
that's a great point by him. The skin.
You know, maybe it's because he's on the not Ozempic, but whatever the weight loss thing that he's doing.
GLP-1s.
Yeah, it just to me, I'm seeing this a lot with a lot of people I know around the NBA, former players, retired players who looked a certain way in retirement, and then you don't see him for a little bit, and you see him again, and like, oh no, that's the sign of someone getting older. Not older like, oh, my back hurts, whatever, like, but older like we're entering that next stage where I got to worry every time I open my phone up to see a graphic or something.
Well, loose skin tends to happen when you were once big and then you get small, so that kind of happens there. It's not his fault.
That's a good point.
I don't see a lot of people talk. It is his fault because, like, it is Chuck's fault. Yes, he got heavy and then he lost the weight, and so he got. I mean, whose fault else? He's the one governing what food goes into his mouth. Like, it's
lean on your experience.
I am. Oh. I'm speaking as an authority here. I don't need your help with that. I'm doing fine.
We've been here before.
Coach, I don't need your help here. I got this. This isn't like before in the game when you asked me to just throw the ball to Roy out of nowhere.
Dan, your face looks a little more full, though. I think you don't have the experience.
Look, this is a strange thing that's happening with Charles Barkley. In that, you guys are telling me, you're feeling, I don't agree with you necessarily here, even as I say he's too skinny. You're telling me you feel like he looks healthier, heavier.
Just looks off right now. Yeah. I can't explain it.
You're telling me that him skinny looks to you more mortal than him heavy. That's what you're saying.
I honestly think it's the suits. If he got like a fitted suit, I think he would look. It would be night and day.
So go to a tailor.
I'm sure he did though, right? Like, would Chuck not do that?
No, it's probably those old suits, man. That's probably like he's just grabbing the ones from the closet and putting them on, or maybe it's laundry day. I don't know. Either way, like there's a part of me.
Something's off.
You're on base, man. He looks terrific. I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you know?
He looks I know things.
You don't know.
I know things. I'm smart.
I mean, I think you're having a take that not a lot of other people are having. I think most people think that Charles looks great. When I say that he's too skinny, even as somebody who, like him, has fought his weight all his life, I'm saying it because it doesn't have the things he's saying don't have the same oomph when he says them as a lighter person. When he's thicker, this is the comedy is better and the points land harder. And in this case, he's giving voice to something. Who's feeling bad for Nico?
So ironically, a lot of former players, like what we've interviewed over the last few days.
You got 2 minutes here.
They kind of echo these things like, well, it wasn't just Nico, it was the organization. You got to understand, obviously, that Barkley has a relationship with Nico from Nico's Nike days, as do a lot of guys.
So he's on the take.
Not on the take, but just a little bit more sympathetic. But guys keep repeating this, oh, it's the organization. But it's like, it was Nico's idea.
Yeah.
and the owner employs you to be an expert.
Yeah, the owner's not a basketball guy. You're the basketball.
It's like if I go to my doctor and my doctor says, hey, you should take this medicine, and then it has disastrous results.
Oh, but you allowed him to give you the medicine.
Yeah,
right?
like no one would say, oh, it's my fault for taking the medicine. It's my doctor who's the expert's fault for telling me.
Why are we doing another press conference?
You're on, Coach.
All right. Started slow. Kind of sad a little bit. Dug ourselves out of it. Whistles killed us. Whistles were, they were just really bad. Too many whistles. Made the right call. Pulled a young guy. I still have faith. He's our quarterback. 100%. He's still our quarterback. But Roy did give us a spark. And we settled in. We're able to come back in that one. Most important thing is, just secure the W. We'll look at the film. We'll reevaluate. We'll get out of the building alive.
You've aged.
It's a hard profession. Any other questions?
What did you think of the idea of somebody distracting people with bit while they were trying to talk seriously about mortality?
I mean, it's a trick play, no doubt. Want to keep the defense off balance.
Amin was palpably and obviously distracted while trying to talk about serious subject matter because you were in his ear chewing gum and I think shaking ice.
Sorry, where's the question here?
I'm downer Dan.
No one's down over here in this room. All right? No one's down. We're building a program. We're in year 2. All right? What's up, Trevor?
This is Juju. He's got a new show.
Welcome back. The Alley Oop has returned.
How many damn jerseys do you have?
It's about basketball, hoops, and hoopers.
I'm trying to get us away from calling him the Joker because the other nickname on his page is Big Honey. And I just think Big Honey is a way better nickname.
Don Staley and them girls back at it again. And she gonna pull up Prada down, Chanel, Gucci, and Louis. It don't even matter. Them Auburn Tigers, bro. Them boys 35 years old each player. None of them brothers got a hairline amongst any of them.
But maybe you're wondering, where can I see it or hear it? Tell us, Juju.
Subscribe to youtube.com/@DLS Hoops. Do you need me to point at some visual explanations? Well, here you go.
More secret sweetheart deals fresh from Epstein Island as award-winning journalist Julie K. Brown joins us with the Epstein update. And Florida Rep. Angie Nixon comes to talk about how the Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity because Miami.
One of the things that I always find interesting in basketball is how sustainable are you? The Pacers are 1-10. The Mavericks were in the finals a couple of years ago. The whole thing has fallen apart. You remember that really fun year Sacramento had where it's like, are they on the rise? Now their coach is Doug Christie, who I don't believe is necessarily qualified for that job. He's another one of these former players who doesn't have a unique necessarily insight to how to coach. He's just a former player who has some allegiances to Sacramento that people remember. And so the Sacramento thing has collapsed, and the press conference we played of Doug Christie yesterday was weird. But before I replay it and then tell you what happens to update this story, I mean, what's fair and unfair to say about Doug Christie's both relationship with Sacramento and his relationship with his wife that was a subject of much topic around Doug Christie that makes a whole lot of people in our audience of a certain age remember that Doug Christie was wildly and hugely supportive of his wife in a way that made it known to all, in a way that was super public, that his wife was in charge of their relationship and that she was the one, and his love was something that buoyed her. They were very public about their relationship before that was a popular thing, and it's almost one of the first things I think of when I think of Doug Christie. What's fair to examine there?
Well, I mean, I would just, to the second question, just say that, like, if you think about the show Basketball Wives, which opened up this whole world of the wives and girlfriends, the wags as they call them over across the pond, being celebrities of their own right. And Jackie Christie was really like the first one to be of that mold even before the show went on in terms of being known for being Doug Christie's wife, and which is funny because Doug Christie wasn't that famous a player when he played. But to the first question, what he means to the city of Sacramento, you got to think about the only sustainable success they've ever had in that city over 40 years of having NBA basketball is Doug Christie, Chris Webber, Peja Stojakovic, Hedo Turkoglu, Rick Adelman, those Vlade Divac, those teams, right? And so
could have and should have beaten Shaq's Lakers.
They came closer than anybody else, I guess, other than the Pistons, who they actually did it, right? So the idea here is that, and as a guy who never left, right, stayed with the organization first as a broadcaster and then as an assistant coach and now as a head coach, right? So when he speaks, he knows how to use the jingoistic terms to get the Sacramento people very bought into him as a person and as a leader. So yesterday we played this sound, which is him after they lost pretty handily.
Roll the audio.
Good evening. Good evening. Some of you guys, I think everybody in here knows me. If you don't, my name is Douglas Dale Christie. I'm head coach of the Sacramento Kings. Okay? Change is hard, y'all. We about to work at it like crazy. We totally get that. And it'll be bumpy. It will. Because change is like that. But buckle up. For the real ones, buckle up. And for all the rest of you, you know who you are. You know how I feel about that. When I see the hate, the haters, the fakers, all you guys, you keep that energy. That's good. You keep that. And you know who you are. Because while you doing that, we're going to be working. And while you doing that, we're going to be growing. And while you do that, eventually, we're going to be coming.
10 seconds here.
The King Show. Sac proud. Know that.
3, 2. All right, Amin, go ahead. Set up the second.
So that was after they lost to the Nuggets 122-108. So last night they play against the Hawks. Worst team, right? Also a home game. Surely better results. Roll the sound.
Shameful compete level. That's it.
133-108 they lost to the Hawks. He had that big-ass speech.
I didn't expect that.
They lost to the Hawks worse than they lost to the Nuggets. That was his sound.
But he tried to motivate. Look, he threatened the haters. You heard it. He went in, but he doesn't.
And the fakers. Don't forget about
Keep
the fakers.
that energy.
He doesn't have the soldiers behind him. He's got what's left of Russell Westbrook trying to get a triple-double.
Like, you want to talk about, like, the Clippers, and they're just getting a bunch of names. That's literally what the Kings have
We
done.
like Russ.
DeRozan and Russell Westbrook isn't going to fix it at the end.
Schroeder.
Like, what is all of that? What are they doing in Sacramento? That was the most promising team in the Western Conference a couple of years ago.
Lighting that beam.
Them in Memphis were like, wow, this is the future. And it's like, ugh.
You know about that beam?
What happened? Doug Christie is now in charge of something he will not be able to pull out of. There will be no pulling out of that. He will drown under what is happening in Sacramento, and they will go back to being what they've always been, if not for Rick Adelman.
This is why we always say that ownership is so important in sports, is because you can hire qualified people, but if you don't support them, especially in times of crisis, then it all falls apart. They had, as you said, the beginnings of something that looked like it was starting to work with Monty McNair as the GM and Wes Wilcox in that front office and Mike Brown as the head coach. And as Mike Brown is telling everybody, hey, this isn't working because guys aren't listening, guys are not executing, their answer was it's Mike Brown's fault. They get rid of Mike Brown, and then obviously they get rid of their front office. And so the cycle begins anew. And the new front office comes in with Scott Perry, and they made some decisions that, quite frankly, feel very head-scratching. It feels like this does not move
It's
the
such a
franchise
stupid
forward.
roster. You look at it. It's a stupid roster.
It is a stupid roster. You know what's crazy, Zaz, is like they're one of the teams I mentioned yesterday I happen to know that are monitoring the Ja Morant situation.
He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So why?
You can't do that a second day after he's already done the happen to know. The happen to know has to be a surprise. Respect the happen to know. Respect the happen to know. It can't be him repeating and recycling yesterday's happen to know.
If the play works.
But the point is, it's like you send them Ja Morant, and yes, they'll be better because Ja Morant's good, but it feels like it's just going to be more of the same because they're not going to provide the structure and the accountability that I think Ja Morant really needs.
It feels like sending Ja Morant to a bad situation is probably not the spot for him.
The idea that you guys are talking 2 years after Sacramento and Memphis were playing for the top of this conference, they were telling us, look, you can make them 3 and 4 and 5 seeds, but I was told that was OKC before I was told OKC was going to be OKC, okay? I was told that was going to be the future. Sacramento and Memphis and their young players, and they're playing a different kind of basketball. To look up and see Memphis getting every game, whether Ja plays or not, losing by 35 points every single night where they've given up on the entirety of whatever it is that was supposed to be.
Dentex ready.
I don't want to do football yet. I'm not happy with your governance of today's game. You've been actively distracting Amin. I've heard.
Gotta go.
I don't want to do the Dentech bucket yet.
Yeah, no, let's keep talking Sacramento Kings. That was working.
Get the Reaper out of here. I'll do football for you. Reaper out. I'm not ready to do this yet.
We give them that control over the offense.
We'll do the Dentech bucket in a second.
Check with me.
The thing that I did want to get to, though, because I'm hearing Lewis during the breaks as I go out into a kitchen area where I thought the pastelitos, we scrimped a little bit in the eating area on the pastelitos today.
Look, they were excellent. We love our pastelito papi. There's there could be more.
I could hear Lewis still grumbling, I really need that money Sunday. And so I'm watching on the television, and it says Chiefs must-win game against the Broncos. And I want people to understand what the bet was that Nick Wright made the other day, because it's not me against him. It is the shipping container has $5,000 riding on the Chiefs minus 3.5 at Denver, correct?
Yes.
So this is a game for the top of the division, and I don't think it's a must-win game for the Chiefs, but you guys don't seem to be objecting to the idea of it as a must-win game for the Chiefs.
It's absolutely a must-win game in more ways than one.
Yo,
but
how locked in are you to that game?
Buddy, I might be calling plays. Might have to send it over to Andy Reid.
So Nick Wright and I are making a $5,000 bet on behalf of both Nick's Chiefs and the shipping container. The shipping container minus Mike, minus Amin. This is Tony. According to Nick Wright, this is $5,000 for Tony, Chris, Roy, Lewis, and who's the fifth person?
Jeremy.
Jeremy? You sure he wanted Jeremy?
He's not here to defend
and that's
himself.
$5,000 split amongst us.
Are you guys going as part
Although
of the?
we can do each of you.
As part of the consortium that Nick is in, where he bets big money on big things. He's willing to spill $5,000 on behalf of the shipping container. Will you guys be watching that game with the audience on Sunday? The must-win game for the Chiefs, with you guys on the Chiefs side, $5,000 on the result. You guys will be watching that and doing something with it?
Dan, will we be doing something? You will be able to watch us sweat every single second of Kansas City versus Denver, a massive game in the AFC West, not only for these two teams, but for the boys in the shipping container and Lewis in the back. I will be spearheading it, okay? You know, I'm Mr. Live 305. We will be spearheading a live watch party watching Chiefs Broncos 425 big game.
Okay, big game. Zaz, is this
I
a big
decide
game?
if it's big game or not big game.
I'm telling you it's a
Not
big game right now. I'm
Well,
telling
wait
you
a
that.
minute. You don't get to decide that.
I decide
I
that one.
decide.
What is it?
Zaz decides that. You don't.
I'm telling you it's a big
decide
game.
Chiefs, Broncos, 3.5 points, $5,000. That's a big game.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. All right.
Let's go.
Big game.
Big game.
Good to see you.
How many other big games are on the schedule? Let's do the Dentech bucket. Go get the shamed Reaper and allow him into the room.
There's actually one other big game, by the way. Seahawks versus Rams is
I'll decide that.
massive game.
Is that a big game, too? Hold on a
Don't
second.
forget the Raiders.
Seahawks, Rams, NFC West. That's a big game.
Woo, another big game.
We got another big game.
Wait, three
Bucks-
big games
Bucks
this week?
Bills.
Wait, I don't know.
Coach, what do you think about
Wait
Bucks
a
Bills,
minute.
Coach?
Not
I'm focused on Dallas Monday
Coach
night.
doesn't decide big games or not big
Made a
games.
quarterback change.
Zaz decides that.
Bucks, Bills. Bills coming off of a bad loss to a stinky team. Bucks coming off of a loss to a good team. That's a big game.
Oh, okay.
Three straight big games.
Big weekend.
Yeah.
I think we got 4 big games.
No, you
Uh-oh.
don't have a fourth.
Detroit and Philly. Big game on Sunday
Wait a
night.
minute. Is that a fourth big game? That is a fourth.
Sunday
big
night
game.
football. Lions,
Ooh, that is a big one.
Eagle. I decide. Lions, Eagles. That's a big game.
All right.
So they're just all big games.
Yeah, no, that's it. Just those 4. That's it. Not all of them. Most of them are not
Right,
big
First game
games.
ever in Spain.
Most of that.
Okay. Washington,
Oh.
Miami. Both teams are 3-7. Terrible record. Not a big game.
Not a big game. They're not all big games.
We got Chargers, Jags.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah?
Is that a good game or a big game?
You don't know the difference?
Impactful. 2 playoff teams as of right now.
Chargers, Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence sucks. Not a big game.
Not a big
Trevor,
game.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't play in big
Not a
games.
big game. They're
Chargers
only
for
4.
playoffs.
There are only 4 big games. I mean, go ahead and reach into the bucket. Go ahead and turn the music back on.
I like to rummage. I got the Broncos.
So you were up 4.5. Now the line has gone up to 4.5.
You should keep it.
I'm putting it back.
Ooh, wow.
He's an ally,
You gotta
Dan.
fade the shipping container.
It's a big game.
For the record, by the way, the game on Sunday, according to our lines, it's 3.5 because the line here is 4.5. It's gone up a point in favor of the Chiefs. So Nick got that line at 3.5 earlier in the week. Just, I don't want any confusion if there's a 4-point controversy.
I'm rummaging.
You just put back a 4.5-point favorite at home that's first place in the division.
Steelers.
The Steelers
Cincinnati.
are 5.5-point favorite at home against Cincinnati.
But Flacco, though.
The Bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign up your league at dentech.com.
Tomlin is afraid of Flacco. I'm worried.
He is afraid of Flacco. That's true. It's the only guy who makes him blink. Mike, I don't need the soundtrack of you chewing.
Can Coach pick the Raiders? Is that a controversy?
Don't let him look in the bucket. I see him
He
cheating.
should just get the Raiders.
Just go.
Can we
We're
just
gonna
give him the
we're gonna
Raiders?
defer.
What do you mean you're going to defer?
Second half, Dan.
The Raiders are at home against the Cowboys. You get the Raiders. The Raiders
Nah,
are.
we defer.
The Raiders
We
are
defer.
3.5
Come back.
point home dog.
Come back after half a use.
I got the Giants. I'm going to throw that back expeditiously.
The Giants. Good job.
Jameis Winston.
Ooh, the Jameis. He's 7.5 point underdog at home against the Packers.
I know how that one's going to go.
Weird team. Packers.
Packers kind of weird, yeah.
Unserious.
All right,
That's
here
what
we go.
Dominic Foxworth says.
Wow, I
Not
got a
se-
big game. Bucks.
Wow.
You've got Tampa Bay, so Tampa Bay is going to end up being
I'm
on
getting
the
points,
road.
Dan. I'm getting 5.5.
Well, no, you're giving. Yeah, you're getting 5.5 points. No, you're not getting anything. You're a 5.5 point dog. You're getting a loss. Is
Getting
what you're
5.5, Dano.
Remember when we used to wear gloves for this segment?
This is annoying. It's annoying to speak this way, and I imagine it's annoying for the audience at this point as well. But Dentech is not annoying. It'll get rid of your headache
Fantastic.
if you're a grinder. Roy,
Way to clean that up.
what do you have on your helmet, Roy? Is that the Seahawks?
Yes, sir. The Seattle Seahawks.
So Seattle, that's in one of the big games. We got one
Rams.
They're at the Rams. They're a 3.5 point dog at the Rams.
I'm putting that back.
Whoa!
You guys are putting good teams.
Roy,
Seattle's
coach.
one of the best teams in the league, Roy. Are you watching football?
7-2.
I'm watching hockey.
I can tell.
Clearly.
He's got the Chargers.
I got the Giants.
Oh, the Giants. I'm sorry. So you're a 7.5 point dog.
Roy,
at
start
home
watching football, buddy.
against Green Bay.
I'll watch on Sunday.
All right, here we go. I'm going now. Let me go to the bottom. I like to go to the bottom. Get one out the bottom.
Hey, why aren't you
here.
wearing your Dentech mouthpiece?
I am not wearing that at the moment. I have the Falcons.
The Falcons are at home, 3.5 point favorite over Carolina.
Not bad.
Favored over a team they lost by 32.
Not
I'll
bad.
keep it.
They're at home. Wow. So
All right, I deferred. I'm going to go ahead and pick now.
Second half just kicked off, Dan.
He's super annoying today, man. Like he's most annoying most
Texans.
days. But
Davis Mills. At Tennessee, we're going to keep that.
you're going to keep that as a 6.5 point favorite at Tennessee, despite your beloved Cam Ward. The Reaper's coming in here now to
Now we wait.
to allow Zaslow. Zaslow, you haven't done a whole lot of punishments. One of them was you stayed in a bed. How many times have you lost this season?
Yeah, and I also I dressed up as a NASCAR driver, and I have a punishment coming up next week. My deal is in the mail, so don't you worry about that.
I think you're dressing up as the Pope.
Yeah, it's appropriate. San Francisco.
Appropriate.
The 49ers are on the road at Arizona. They're a 3.5 point favorite.
I'm going to keep that.
All right, you're going to keep that. That was funny. As soon as the Cardinals say, hey, no more Kyler Murray, we're going to go with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett gives you that game. I've got the Dentech Golden Helmet of Life, I'm assuming, right? Like this is, yes, look at this. This is the most precious thing in here. No one's happy for me, of course. I require the celebratory music. Thank you, Dentech. Dentech, I'm very pleased. No one's happy for me. Obviously, they want to see me in these costumes.
Stop talking.
I don't like these costumes.
Back to you.
Talking over the imaging.
I was going to lay out as soon as the Stugotz came in here, but once again, you're being too handsy with the show and you're getting in my way.
I mean, people are talking.
That's not, do you not know what laying out means?
At the end of the sound, you were going to lay out.
At the
We're gonna lay out
at
after
the
the-
after the
right
ba?
before the
Got to run out of bounds.
right before the
All right, let's just go ahead and punt.
I was gonna I was going to stop right before the and
Fourth and
comedic
nine.
a comedic.
We'll talk about it after the game.
Allow it.
We'll talk about it after the game.
Allow it to buttress me.
Kneel down.
I'm reading headlines this morning, and I did not see this game, okay? So you will forgive me for not knowing that Hannah Hidalgo is a great player for Notre Dame in women's college basketball. She scored 44 points last night. But when I saw 16 steals, I'm like, does Akron have a point guard problem? Because 16 steals, I don't understand under what circumstance I could be watching any game that someone is so athletic that they've got 16 steals in a game. What would you guys think is the record in an NBA game for steals in a game? Because when I saw 16 steals, I'm like, that can't just be about Hannah Hidalgo is great. She'll score against everyone. She'll score 44 against a lot of people. But if I ask you for the steals record, when I see 16 steals, I assume the steals record is like half that. That's something closer to 8 than to 16.
The NBA record for steals in a game is 11. It's two guys, Larry Keenan and Kendall Gill.
Ooh.
Keenan did his in 76, Gill in 99.
Shout out to Kendall Gill, the boxer.
7 players have done 10 steals.
16 steals, though, that must be very fun to play basketball that way. to be a player who can steal the ball 16 times feels to me like what would be a dream scenario for how can I be more athletic than everyone it is that I'm playing against, so athletic that I can dominate the game by doubling up what would be a normal steal total for an amazing game.
Or just playing against some sloppy passes, bad turnovers, bad ball handling.
Also, I mean, what's the cookie rate on those 16 steals? Because that's an important thing to note, right? Is it 16 steals where I'm getting in the passing lane, I'm getting one? Or is it cookies where I'm taking what you're dribbling and those are mine, thank you, excuse me?
The cookie percentage is an important
We need to
element.
check that out, yeah.
We need that before we can confirm anything. By the way, you talk about Hannah Hidalgo. What you know about that? Audi Crooks, man.
Oh, yeah, she
Iowa
dominated
State.
last
You know about
night.
that? You saw that?
Yeah, I saw what Audi Crooks did. She had like 40-something points last night, man.
43 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Crook would be a better name for somebody who's doing the steals, I would imagine, right? Than the point totals. Can you guys tell me whether or not you've been following at all the journey of Gilbert Arenas? Because it's been really interesting to watch all the things that Arenas is doing, pouring a great deal of money into the making of content. He's gotten into the content business in a way that is expensive and has been successful. There are not a lot of athletes who have had the success in this space that Gilbert Arenas has. Gilbert Arenas, during his playing days and afterward, is an uncommon personality anywhere in athletics where he's actively willing to be a troll. This goes back to his playing days. He got suspended, one of the longest suspensions ever that I thought, before watching the Netflix documentary, I really did think that Gilbert Arenas didn't get into historic suspension trouble for bringing a gun into a locker room and having a showdown with Javaris Crittenden. I thought that the suspension initially would be over that. And then I thought, no, the reason that he got that long a suspension is because while he was still playing, while they were trying to figure out what to do with that, he came out and did a gun celebration with finger guns, and then he got yanked off the court. But it turns out, after watching the Netflix documentary, that the reason he got suspended for that, he says, is because he was just on NBA planes going back and forth all over the place with a bunch of guns.
Dan, a couple of things. Gilbert Arenas, like Shaquille O'Neal, sometimes embellishes stories, right? But it is true. His initial suspension for having the guns in the locker room and all that was like 2 games, 3 games, or something like that. He gets reactivated. That first game back when he's reactivated, he comes out with the finger gun salute, and David Stern blew a gasket. And that's when he threw the book at him, which is what I actually ask Adam Silver to do all the time, throw the book at him.
He's being introduced before a game in the middle of this controversy, and as he does so, he does finger guns as if he thinks all of this is funny, that he's getting suspended for a couple of games.
So this is the backdrop. This is the kind of guy he is. I mean, even we talk about the showdown, if you will. Crittenden walks in the locker room, and Gilbert has 3 guns on the chair and says, pick one. And Crittenden says, I don't have to do that. I got my own. Cocks it, starts singing, oh, let's do it. And it said everybody ran out of the locker room except for Gilbert Arenas. And I heard this from not Gilbert Arenas. He sat back and he laughed. So this is the level of troll, ladies and gentlemen. He's willing to die for the joke, right? Or at least he was when he was a player. When Gilbert retired, I said this guy would be great on TV. The problem is he's Gilbert Arenas. He plays by nobody's rules. We had him on the jump one time. Our producer sat with him for 40 minutes in pre-show meeting. All they were doing was going over words you can't say. What about, can I say this word? No, you can't say that on TV. No. They finally landed on douchebag. Can I say douchebag? Fine, Gilbert, you can say douchebag. And then he proceeded on the jump to work the word douchebag into every single answer of every question thrown at him. This is a Gilbert Arenas who at another time could never exist on TV. But because of the great equalizer of the internet, he has become a massive star for all the reasons of rule breaking, of being a troll, of all these things have allowed him to be a massive star. Now, here's the deal, Dan. We got the gambling scandal, and this is him talking about the day he learned, maybe I should stop trolling.
Me trolling my own case, and I'm ready to snitch, right? And then I'm looking at the case like, all right, Chauncey, Rozier, the f*** this guy doing me? What happened is we're getting ready to go on the show. So I'm like, I'm not going to mess this moment up. Not going to mess this moment up, right? So
what did the lunch bag say again?
Informant lunch. I didn't know, because, I'm reading on real time and then, going on a show, I didn't know how serious that was. And then once I realized how serious it was, it kind of scared me. Them, right, it started saying like,
the crime families.
Like, I've heard these names before. Right, like I'm watching because I watch Dateline, and I watch, all this mob shit. So I be watching like, okay, got an argument at a restaurant. Next day, restaurant blew up. Oh, okay. Car blew up. Woo! Like, okay, so they serious about their business on just arguments. This is real. This is for families. Mm-hmm. And my name is in it for no damn reason. Do they think this is real? Do they think I'm a part of it? Listen, I didn't get in my car for about a week and a half.
Really?
Hell no.
I mean, let's talk about what's real and what. No. I believe I don't. This one's interesting, right? I did not believe that there was a trolling line that Gilbert Arenas would not cross, because I, too, marveled at, in a locker room where Gilbert knew what his power was as the star and the star moneymaker, he pushed a teammate to the brink on the game of chicken of, you're not going to shoot me in here. Here are the guns. Teammates are running out, but he's that committed to the joke.
Layout.
He does not fear the FBI. He does not fear basketball investigations. He does fear the mafia, obviously.
That's exactly it, Dad. And like the idea is that because he had his own like FBI thing earlier in the summer, people were saying, "Oh, maybe Gilbert was on the toll." So as soon as he saw the story, he comes in with the bag with the informant lunch on it, but. Even as he's telling the story, I'm like, I don't believe you, Gilbert. I think he's still going to troll. He's still going to do these jokes, and he's still going to have fun with it. In the rest of the clip, he says he had to make calls to the underworld to make sure, am I kosher, am I good, or am I in danger here? And they let him know he's good, and now he can start his car.
I just don't believe the part where he didn't go in his car for a couple of weeks.
A week and a half, he said.
No way. There's no way he didn't go in his car for a couple of weeks.
You know about those car bombs?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay, so?
So there's no way he didn't go in his car. Well, I stutter? Just trying to tell you.
I do believe he was scared, though, and I don't believe he scares easily.
There's a moment, right? There's a brief moment where you're like, oh, shit. Like, I'm making a joke, and I'm thinking I'm making a joke at the expense of Terry Rozier, at the expense of Chauncey Billups, at the expense of Adam Silver. And you realize, when you look at the names on that list, you're like, oh, there's some people who don't maybe
they don't make jokes.
They don't make jokes, yeah. And like I need to clarify real quick. My name's Bennett. I ain't in it. My name's Paul. That's between y'all.
What were your thoughts, on the move that Steve Kerr made where he's saying he's ready to make major changes, and the major change is right after Draymond says hidden agendas, it's Kuminga, you're going to the bench. We're aware, right, that Draymond still leads that team, right? Like that the furnace that Draymond is with the connection specifically that he has to Steph, right? Like this is an unusual bond that they have. In the fire, the only ones who survived it was them. Durant got blown out. Get out of here, Clay. We're the furnace. It's going to be Draymond does all the little things. Steph does all the big things. Good cop, bad cop in the locker room, I would imagine. I imagine that everybody loves Steph and Draymond's the one policing it. They go out and they beat Wemby last night after Jimmy Butler's there with Draymond saying, no, Kuminga's the problem. The problem here is Kuminga. And now Kuminga goes to the bench.
Well, Anthony Slater also posited yesterday that Brandon Pajemski, the third-year guard, had made comments in the summer that they deemed to be a little disrespectful.
That's
about,
stupid. I saw those comments. So Brandon Pajemski was asked, how good do you want to be? How are you going to take the mantle or something? He's like, I want to be better than Curry. And apparently the veterans got mad. Why? That's stupid. Who cares? He's saying he wants to be one of the greatest players. That's not a good thing to say?
A level of it's weird. It's a sport that demands delusion, but also like realistic delusion. I've told the story before about Aaron Aflalo, where he told us in our pre-draft interview that when we said, who's a guy in the league whose career you think you can mimic? And he said, Kobe Bryant. And we said, well, no, yes, obviously the best players, we want to emulate them, whatever, but realistically, you look around the league, who's someone I can have his career? And he's like, Kobe Bryant. And we were like, yeah, dude, you're not going to be Kobe Bryant. So then we explained to him, we think you can be like a bigger, more athletic Raja Bell, can do a little bit more off the dribble, can defend a little bit more versatility because you are tall or whatever. And it was like we told him, hey, can you clean our toilets barehanded, please? It was so far beneath him to say, hey, you can be Raja Bell, which Raja Bell, all defensive team, played on some teams that went to the finals, some deep runs.
Well, when you talk about these delusions, though, do you guys not understand in the Warriors locker room how Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry would look at anyone else in the locker room and be like, you have no idea how hard what we just did was for the last 10 years. You have no concept.
Go to Amin, did he?
Oh, don't do that one.
Like, do you think Jimmy's a part of any of those conversations with?
Jimmy feels he belongs in that conversation.
First of all, Draymond and Jimmy are lockstep, right? It's the two assholes who like to hold people accountable in the most asshole way possible, which, again, in Draymond's case, I think for both of them, they're vets. They've been in the league long enough. And I think the things that they demand are good basketball. They're not demanding, hey, just keep passing me the ball and get out of the way. They want you to play better. For Draymond in particular, and I said it yesterday when we were talking about him and Steph and Clay when he was there and Andre Iguodala when he was there, they're really understanding about what makes this thing go. Not just like, hey, give the ball to Steph or whatever, but literally the attitude and the approach of the championship mentality. It's not for everybody, right? The way they do things there. And so when you see someone who kind of breaks away from that, they're like, no, man. We put four banners up there doing it this way. To hell with your way.
Okay, but here's where the Warriors are stupid. What did they expect with Jonathan Kuminga this year? They went the whole summer, we don't want you, you don't want us, and then eventually he signs the tender, and yeah, he still needs to go out now this year and get his because he wants to sign a long-term deal. And you know what? Coming from Jimmy Butler, that's pretty effing rich. Where last year, he tanked the Heat because, he wanted his money, even though Jimmy's probably made $200 million in his career. Jonathan Kuminga's made squat. And, you're upset that Jonathan Kuminga's trying to go out there and get his? It's kind of stupid that the Warriors didn't acknowledge this.
That's a good point. Kind of trailed off.
I think the context is important, right? In the sense that Jimmy Butler last year, we all knew it. You looked at this Miami Heat team, this is not a championship team. Meanwhile, in Golden State, they feel like they are a championship team. And so when that agenda supersedes the ultimate team success, it becomes threatening. When it's like, we're not doing anything anyway, then it's a little bit more acceptable.
What the Warriors expect. What they expect out of it this year.
And also, the players aren't the ones, they have nothing to do with that. This is a player-driven conversation.
Can we examine, though, when Zaz sort of says, what did they expect? Let's make it A.J. Brown now in the Eagles, okay? Let's make it the big controversy in football where you've got a 7-2 team and someone who we know to be great is saying, I want to be great from within the greatness. I'm always great. A.J. Brown is the number one receiver. We all know it. The only thing that's ever stopped A.J. Brown since we've learned his name is the Eagles' offense. We know that that's a human being that can't be covered by just about anybody. And so A.J. Brown is in the middle of this saying, I know how to be great. I know how to be great within this greatness. We have won. Look, this string of winning Philadelphia's done doesn't happen very often in football where you win 23 of 25. These things break apart. A.J. Brown is in the middle. We're sitting here talking about how does Russell Westbrook how does LeBron James end up fitting in with a group of people when you've been the great thing the entire time? A.J. Brown is a mess around a team that should not have any messes given the level of success that they have. But what happens when you getting yours conflicts with the team getting its? What does happen there? What do you do with A.J. Brown if you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you have an unhappy superstar, unhappy clearly, even though you've won 23 of 25? 23 of 25. What do you do with that? How do you lead that? If you're Nick Sirianni, how do you keep eating it in these press conferences where your star receiver in videos on social media is being like, this isn't for me. I'm clearly not happy.
So it'll be a stupid question. I'm just going to ask it anyway. Why can't they just throw the ball to A.J. Brown more? He's really good. Why can't they just throw it to him
more.
3 targets last week.
Yeah.
13 yards, right?
Sometimes it's not the most obvious thing. Hand the ball to Marshawn. Who knows?
Get the press
Got to
conference
take what the
thing.
defense
All right.
gives you.
All right. Look, I'm
Coming up on 2 minutes here. Coming up on 2 minutes.
I know that already. I just said that. You're aging, and I asked for your press conference materials. All you've been doing all show is chewing. Does your jaw hurt?
It actually does a lot.
All you've been doing for 3 hours now is chewing. Chewing in the meeting before the show. All right, let's do the press conference. Let's review the last hour. Go ahead.
He looks haggard.
You're in the shot.
Really aged.
Sorry about that. You're in the
PR
shot.
guy, come over.
Yeah. Well, let me. Couple things here. False start on the first Dentech. We got to clean that up. We'll hit that heavy in practice. We got to learn to lay out too. Miscommunication. But we touched on all the sports. A lot of different looks. I thought Chris Cody bounced back. Really responded to the adversity. Love to see that. Building a good locker room culture over here. Now we'll open it up to questions.
Do you think you're actively keeping Amin from being distracted?
He was a little rattled during the Amin Diddy thing. I tried to do what is called a callback. Just
why was there a whistle in the press conference from our bounce back player of the show, our comeback player of the show, Chris Cody?
Leader of the mind.
Why is there? The mind is a press conference. Why? I've never heard somebody blow a coach's whistle in a press conference. Have you?
Where's the question here?
You're distracting Amin. Do you not notice it?
Yeah, I mean, I could have. I wanted to see what kind of response he had for Amin Diddy. And we saw what Amin was made of. He had a great conversation about Kuminga. I thought Zazzle made really good points. Got to finish a little stronger, no doubt. But to be able to counteract what Amin was throwing at him, real good job.
Coach, you know about that Diddy?
That's it. No more questions. We're done on that, by the way. Coach, thank you. Appreciate that.
That's my time.
You did peter out. You realize that, right? You stumbled toward the
I
dismount.
did. I'm gonna lose a little sleep over that tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be lying in bed, feeling good about the show for the most part, and that's gonna keep me up.
Can we see how Mike is aged just trying to be in this cauldron for 3 hours of running both video and audio at the same time?
Run the graphic.
This is staggering here. This is really.
That's how we looked at the start, and then that was hour 2, and that's now.